A World on Fire, The Seeds of War. The world was a tinderbox in the 1930s. Resentment lingered from the Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I. Germany felt humiliated by its terms. The Great Depression caused economic hardship worldwide. People were desperate for solutions. Leaders with radical ideologies emerged, promising change. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power. Hitler preached a message of German nationalism and racial superiority. He blamed Jews and other minorities for Germany's problems. His aggressive expansionist policies threatened the fragile peace in Europe. Other nations like Japan and Italy embraced militarism and expansion. They sought to expand their empires and influence. The League of Nations, formed after World War I to prevent future wars, proved ineffective. It lacked the power to enforce its decisions. Member nations were reluctant to confront aggressors like Germany, Italy, and Japan. Appeasement, the policy of giving in to demands to avoid conflict, only emboldened these nations. The world watched with growing apprehension as the drums of war beat louder. A house divided, the formation of alliances. As tensions escalated, nations sought security through alliances. Two main blocs emerged, the Axis powers and the Allies. Germany, Italy, and Japan formed the Axis powers. They signed the Tripartite Pact in 1940, formalizing their alliance. This pact pledged mutual support in their quest for territorial expansion and global dominance. The Allies initially consisted of Great Britain, France, and the British Commonwealth. These nations opposed the Axis powers' aggression. The Soviet Union later joined the Allied cause after Germany broke its non-aggression pact and invaded. The United States, initially neutral, provided material aid to the Allies. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the United States officially entered the war on the Allied side. The alliances of World War II were complex and constantly evolving. Smaller nations joined both sides, often out of necessity or strategic advantage. The war became a global struggle, drawing in countries from every continent. The clash of ideologies and national interests set the stage for a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation. Lightning strikes the outbreak of World War II. On September 1, 1939, the world watched in disbelief as German forces stormed into Poland. Hitler's Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, utilized tanks, planes, and coordinated attacks to overwhelm the Polish defenses. This brutal and swift invasion marked the beginning of World War II. France and Great Britain, honoring their commitment to Poland, declared war on Germany. However, they were slow to mobilize. They hoped to contain Germany's aggression, but were unprepared for the speed and ferocity of the German advance. Germany quickly conquered much of Europe, including Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. The Battle of Britain, an air campaign fought over British airspace, became a turning point. The Royal Air Force, though outnumbered, bravely defended their island nation against the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force. The Battle of Britain showed that Germany was not invincible. It also bought precious time for the Allies to regroup and prepare for a long and arduous struggle. A global struggle, key fronts and battles. World War II was a global conflict fought on multiple fronts. In Europe, the Eastern Front became a brutal battleground between Germany and the Soviet Union. The vastness of the Soviet Union and the harsh winter conditions posed significant challenges to the German army. Battles like Stalingrad and Kursk witnessed some of the most horrific fighting in human history, with millions of casualties on both sides. In the Pacific, Japan sought to expand its empire by seizing territories from European colonial powers and the United States. The attack on Pearl Harbor brought the United States into the war. Battles like Midway, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa were marked by fierce fighting and heavy losses on both sides. The Pacific Theater also saw the tragic use of atomic bombs by the United States on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The war raged on in North Africa, the Mediterranean, and Southeast Asia. Each theater presented unique challenges and witnessed its own share of triumphs and tragedies. The global nature of the conflict highlighted the interconnectedness of the world and the far-reaching consequences of war. Section 5. Turning the tide, pivotal moments of the war. Several pivotal moments turned the tide of the war in favor of the Allies. The Battle of Midway, fought in June 1942, was a decisive naval victory for the United States against Japan. It marked a turning point in the Pacific War, shifting the balance of naval power. The Allied invasion of Normandy, France, on June 6, 1944, known as D-Day, was a monumental operation. It opened a second front in Europe, liberating France from German occupation and putting Germany on the defensive. The Soviet Union's victories in the East, coupled with the Allied advance from the West, spelled the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 forced Japan's unconditional surrender, bringing an end to World War II. The use of atomic weapons ushered in the atomic age, with its profound implications for the future of warfare and international relations. Section 6. The human cost. Impacts on civilians and soldiers. World War II exacted an unimaginable toll on humanity. Millions of soldiers perished on battlefields across the globe. Countless others suffered physical and psychological wounds that haunted them long after the guns fell silent. The war forever changed the lives of those who fought in it, leaving an indelible mark on their memories and souls. Civilians bore the brunt of the war's brutality. Cities were reduced to rubble by relentless bombing raids. Millions died from starvation, disease, and genocide. The Holocaust, Nazi Germany's systematic extermination of Jews and other minorities, stands as a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity. The war uprooted millions from their homes, creating a massive refugee crisis. Families were torn apart, and entire communities were shattered. The scars of war ran deep, impacting generations to come. Section 7. Leaders and legacies shaping the course of history. World War II witnessed the rise of leaders who left an undeniable mark on history. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of Great Britain, rallied his nation with his unwavering resolve and stirring speeches. His leadership during Britain's darkest hour inspired hope and defiance against Nazi tyranny. Franklin D. Roosevelt, President of the United States, guided his nation through the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership and diplomatic skills were instrumental in forging the Allied alliance and securing victory. Joseph Stalin, leader of the Soviet Union, played a pivotal role in defeating Nazi Germany. However, his brutal regime and expansionist policies sowed the seeds of Cold War tensions. Adolf Hitler, the dictator of Nazi Germany, remains one of the most reviled figures in history. His ideology of hate and racial supremacy led to the deaths of millions. The world remembers him as a symbol of tyranny and the horrors of war. Section 8. A world transformed. The end of an era. World War II ended with the unconditional surrender of Germany on May 8, 1945, and Japan on August 15, 1945. The war left a world physically devastated and politically realigned. The old order lay in ruins, replaced by a new world order shaped by the victors. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers, their rivalry defining the post-war era. The United Nations was formed in 1945 to prevent future conflicts and promote international cooperation. The war also led to the decolonization movement as former colonies sought independence. The world had changed forever. The horrors of the war served as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of international cooperation. Section 9. Echoes of the past. Lasting impacts and reflections. The echoes of World War II resonate to this day. The war's legacy is etched in the memories of those who lived through it and passed down through generations. It continues to shape our understanding of conflict diplomacy and the human condition. The war spurred technological advancements, including the development of radar, jet engines, and computers. It also led to social and political changes, such as the expansion of women's rights and the civil rights movement. World War II serves as a reminder of the human capacity for both good and evil. It teaches us the importance of vigilance, tolerance, and the preservation of peace. We must never forget the lessons learned from this epic conflict and strive to create a world where such horrors are never repeated.